Hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm here to talk about a new way of dieting called wait to eat. It's the simple way to teach your body how to burn fat. We've all tried dieting before. It can be very frustrating. You may try to exercise more, and that may be tiring and difficult to fit into your schedule. And just not being able to lose the weight that you want to lose can be really disappointing. And then on top of all that, sometimes after you lose some weight, you gain it all back anyways, which can really make you feel depressed. And so, no wonder so many people have given up on getting to a healthy weight. Maybe you started this year strong, you had a goal weight that you wanted to get to, and now as you've gotten into the first couple months of the year, you're starting to feel like this is just not going to happen. Or maybe you lost a little weight and you got really excited and then you plateaued and now your weight's going back up again. There is some simple scientific principles that can help you to teach your body to burn fat instead of following the traditional advice to just eat less food and move more. So, the way to eat method is based on some scientific research that has been paired with simple routines that can teach your mind and your body to lose the unnecessary weight that your body is carrying. That weight is there as your body's way to access energy later on when you're not eating food. And yet, we always are eating food. And so that body fat never gets tapped into as energy. And when you're able to lose that extra weight, it improves your mood, it improves your self esteem, and it even gives you better hope and outlook for the future. So, what is this wait to eat method? Well, number one, the main concept is that when you eat is more important than what you eat or your exercise levels. So, why do I say that? Because when you eat is hardly ever looked at by dieting programs. You are either sold on the idea that you need to do a very strenuous exercise routine and that will help your body lose weight, or you need to eat very specific foods so that your body can lose weight. Very rarely are we talking about what is the science behind that, and what are the most recent research studies showing. For example, I don't have it on me right now, but we've had studies that have shown that eating low fat and carbs, both ways of eating, can be effective in losing weight. So why is that? Why can we get effective ways of losing weight with two totally opposite methods of eating? That can be really confusing and frustrating. You may know people that are really strong into a certain diet and they will swear by it and try to tell you that that is the best way to go for you. And yet, when you try it, it doesn't work. This method of weight loss is not focused on money making for a specific company. In fact, this program is completely free. It's going to cost you less money per month because you're not going to use up as much money for groceries. And really, it comes down to choosing when to eat. So, when you eat is more important than what you eat or how much you eat. Your calorie count does not matter for this particular method. And also, exercise levels. You do not need to move more in order for this process to work. So, why is that the case? Because body fat, our stored body fat, is nothing more than energy that our body is waiting to use later. So, when we take in food, our liver has to break down the food that we take in into usable energy, which is typically blood glucose. It can be stored in a more temporary form known as glycogen. The problem is when your liver is continually storing food as glucose and glycogen, eventually it's kind of run out of space. And then it moves that energy into long-term storage. So glucose and glycogen are easily accessible by the liver, but body fat is a long-term solution to the short-term problem of not having enough space in the liver to store all of this food energy. The other piece about this is your body is probably just used to eating and using up the energy from your food and continuing that cycle. You probably take in enough food energy during the day that you don't need to tap into any stored energy because your body is continually replenishing those stores of easily accessible energy in the liver. The problem with that is that while you are eating, insulin levels are high. When you stop eating, your insulin levels start to drop. When insulin levels are high, your body cannot burn fat. It will only store food energy as fat. Your body can either be storing food as fat during an eating window, or it can be burning fat as fuel during a fasting window. One of those two, you can't have both. So this idea that we need to eat a lot in order to keep our metabolism high so that we do not end up running out of energy, or we don't end up making our body go into starvation mode and all of these different things, they are going against what your body is trying to do. Your body is trying to stop the process of storing food as energy, and it wants to start using the stored energy that you already have accumulated. But as long as you continue to eat, your body cannot do that. So we are looking at how do we allow our body to burn the fat we have as fuel instead of having our body just rely on the food energy that we take in at meals. So the simple way to do this is to increase the time between your meals. So that's eliminating snacks between your meals. That is maybe reducing how many meals you eat per day. And the reason why we do that is so that your body will use up the energy from your food and burn body fat instead. So for example, every night we go to sleep, and while we're sleeping, we aren't eating. Our bodies don't shut down. Our bodies continue to work. Now, obviously, our energy levels are lower because we're at rest, but we do have the ability, when our insulin levels drop lower, to start burning fat as fuel instead of waiting for food energy. So the simplest way to do this is to expand the time between meals by drinking some fluids, specific fluids like water, tea, or coffee. And those can sometimes be flavored with lemon, lime, cucumber, the water. And then coffee and tea can be flavored with a little bit of cream, some cinnamon. And so we drink fluids instead of eating food. And this keeps our insulin levels low during a mealtime. So if you can, start by just eliminating breakfast. Your body's already used to not eating while you sleep. How about drinking a cup of coffee, or drinking a cup of tea, or even just drinking some water when you wake up? See if that actually works for you. For me, all I had to do to start losing weight was to change my habits in the morning. I was eating a bowl of cereal with milk, and I'm drinking a cup of coffee every day. Sometimes I'd eat some eggs, some bacon, but most of the time I was eating a bowl of cereal. And what I didn't know about that was, even though I was eating whole grain cereal, trying to eat like granola or things that seemed healthier, I was actually raising my insulin levels right away during the morning. And that was causing my body to stop burning fat, because overnight it had started to burn fat. But then when I woke up and ate food, that breakfast cereal would stop my body from burning fat and start burning the energy from my food. So when I stopped doing that and just started drinking coffee, I started to notice a change in my weight. I started losing weight, like half of a pound every day. I ended up losing a few pounds every week. And over the course of 6 months, I lost 30 pounds. And all that I did was focused on eating lunch and supper, not eating a bunch of snacks in between, just eating lunch and supper and skipping breakfast. I didn't change my activity level. There are some things I naturally just didn't need as much of, like I didn't drink sugary drinks. I don't drink diet soda. Um, I just focused on drinking water. Sometimes I would put a couple teaspoons of apple cider vinegar into a cup of water, which is I've learned is pretty healthy to do. So there are some just simple things you can do to start this process. As you get used to burning the fat that you've stored in your body, it will become easier and easier for your body to lose weight. Because really what you want to do is lose body fat, right? You don't necessarily need to gain muscle. You need to lose body fat. Exercise is very good for your health. It helps your muscles to be strong. It helps your cardiovascular system to work well. It raises your endorphins and it makes you feel good. And at the end of the day, exercise is a great thing. But exercise has very little to do with losing body fat. It is much more about building muscles and muscle tone and endurance. And so when we look at just losing body fat, this is the way to go. Teach your body to burn fat as fuel instead of waiting to eat to burn the food as fuel. So this course will not only educate you about how the weight loss happens, because that's an important piece. When you know what is going on, you will know what to do. When you know how your body works, you will make a plan that makes sense for you. You can be wise enough about making the choices you need to make to lose the weight. And once you start to see progress and momentum, it's going to get easier and easier to keep using the strategy. I guarantee you, the less sugar you eat, the easier it is to stop eating other foods. Sugar creates a need to snack more, to have more sugary foods. It's your body creating a reward loop where you eat sugar and you want more of it. So one of the main things about your diet that you could change is just avoid sugary foods, avoid highly processed foods, focus on eating vegetables, meat, fruits, dairy, real foods that come from the ground or something that was alive. But this strategy is not so picky that if you eat the wrong foods one day out of the week, that everything's going to go downhill. So this course is about understanding why the weight loss happens. And also, another big component about weight loss is your mindset. If you are able to keep your mind positive, focus on things that are going to help you overcome the problems in your life, that is the way that you will have success in weight loss. If you're beating yourself up and feeling like a failure, that's going to be really challenging to stay on any kind of new diet plan. So this will also help you focus on that. So there's two different paths you can take. The first path is to just start using this strategy. Take this information from this video and just apply it to your life. That can be done right now. You could decide that tomorrow you're going to start by not eating breakfast and replacing the time that you eat with drinking fluids. However, maybe you want to know more about why this works, and that's something that you'd rather do before you start using the strategy. Or perhaps maybe you just want to learn along the way. All these are possible things with this particular course. Start where you're at. Start with what you know and what you're ready for. Ask questions. Try to educate yourself on what you need to know to be successful. And then go from there. Build on your knowledge base. And this course is going to help you do that. There also will be an opportunity, if you need to have one-on-one counseling. This can be a way to ask specific questions about where you're at, or talk through some of those mindset things that are causing you to have a hard time starting. Overall, this is an education-based course. It is not medical advice. The term that what we're doing is called as intermittent fasting. If you are on medications, especially ones like diabetes medications, you need to talk to your doctor about that, about using intermittent fasting in your daily life before you start doing this. If you are a pregnant woman or a nursing mother, intermittent fasting is not advised. So please do not do this if you are a nursing mother or pregnant. However, you could do a light version of this where you just simply try to go about 12 hours between meals. You could eat your supper at 7 p.m. and then eat your breakfast at 7 a.m. So that would be a way to also go about doing this without causing too much of a problem. So I'd love you to reach out, ask questions, let me know what you think. And if you need more help, just ask for it. Be glad to help. All right, thanks so much. Enjoy your first couple days of this journey. Try to find a way to make it apply to your life and your situation. And you can do it. You really can. You can lose that body fat and it'll make a difference in how you feel. All right, we'll talk to you later.